Morrell feels like nobody wants to call his name out for a fight. Seems like he feels like everyone is trying to ignore him and put him in a position where he can't win. Especially with he feels like he wasn't an option for Andrade or a Benavidez fight. At 8 or 9 fights right now, I don't think you're an option for any guys right now at top 10, which is 8 or 9 fights. I know a lot of guys will say, Morrell is the option. Like I said in previous videos, you have Christian and Billy. He's going to be on the Benavidez and Cullum Smith undercard. Well, co-main event in January. I want to say it's January 13th. So, I mean, he's moving up the ranks. He's a co-main event for a Benavidez fight. So, I don't know if Morel put himself in that position. I don't know how active he's been lately. I looked at his fights lately, his resume. He hasn't been as active as I would like for him to be. I want to say he's only been in the ring, one time this year. So, right now, he has to put himself in a position where guys who are 168 will be able to try to compete with him. I mean, he's got to put something together. I mean, Benavidez has put fights together where he has to fight 60s and guys who were borderline 68, who were skillful enough to fight a 68. So to feel like you can't find a fight right now, that's kind of hard. Especially with everybody else not being able to find a fight. Especially with 8 or 9 fights. I mean, who are you expecting? He's calling out all the big names. He wants to fight Canelo, and I mean, everybody want to fight Canelo. I'm tired of hearing guys call out for the Canelo, to be honest with you. To be honest with you, calling out Canelo is becoming a weak strategy. Because everybody does it now. If you don't fight someone else, it's kind of like, it's obsolete almost. You see what happened with Charlo. People want him to prove himself after the Canelo fight. A lot of guys don't realize after people fight Canelo, their career usually don't go up. It doesn't go any higher. Especially with like Golovkin. People thought Golovkin was gonna be a star without Canelo. Let me say this loud and clear. Golovkin was never a star without Canelo. Never. A star? Selling pay-per-views? Are we serious? A star. I'm talking about like Oscar De La Hoya star. Those are stars in boxers. I'm not talking about somebody that everybody knows his name. I'm talking about a star. Every time he puts on a fight, whether it's with a no name, it could have been with anybody, it's gonna be a blockbuster. Nah, he's not in that position. Like I said, it's not that many stars. Many people don't become a star. Like they become familiar with you. Like Caleb Plant, they're familiar with Caleb Plant. Will they just go see a Caleb Plant fight because it's like the Mike Tyson experience? No, they will not. So Morrell got to put himself in a position where he's active, man. Fans want to see you fight more. They don't really see you in the ring that much. We seen Benavidez all throughout the pandemic. That's what he has to realize. And y'all around the same age. Y'all around the same age, and you got how many fights? Man, nah, man. Come on, man. Come on. Everybody talking about Jarrell Ennis got 30 fights. How many fights do y'all want him to have? How many fights do you want him to have? I don't feel like Morrell's an option right now. I mean, if he's an option with 8 or 9 fights right now for Canelo or Benavidez or anyone, that division's weak. They need to go ahead and throw that division away. If he's an option right now. Because you got guys like Andre that still ain't fought Canelo, but he'll be an option? Nah, throw that whole division away if that happens. Then you got Adames trying to come up from 60. I don't know if they asking him or if they want to see if he's able to, or if he's an option from Canelo's team. So we'll have to wait and see. We don't know right now. But for Morel to feel like nobody's calling his name out, I mean, Benavidez did call you out, bro. Like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, he called you out. He said, yeah, I'll fight David Morel. I'll fight him. And he said it. He will fight you. And a lot of people who was on, I don't know whoever side it was, they didn't really say nothing. I mean, it was a pandemic. Nothing was going on. Benavidez was fighting about 2 or 3 times. in empty arenas with nobody in there. So I mean, right now we gotta see. I don't know, because if we let Morel do the same thing, like the Lomachenko, people don't really like the Lomachenko thing. Having a championship fight with a second fight, people didn't like that. What we gonna do, the same thing? And now you see it's hard to put together fights now for Lomachenko, because now he expects everything to be a big fight, or for everything to be a championship fight, when it's not gonna be like that. Because once you do that, your second pro fight, what you gonna do? You just gonna fight for regular fighters after that? No, it's not gonna be like that. So he's gonna expect more, especially if he wins. But I don't feel like. But if you don't win, what's gonna happen then? You're gonna end up being. It's gonna be a career killer, man. It's a career killer. Fighting Benavidez is not easy. It stops a lot of guys' career. It takes a lot of time to bounce back, get your body right, your psyche, your mental. That's not something that I would consider anybody doing right now, especially at a young age like that. I know him and Benavidez is the same age, but Benavidez got way more experience than them. As far as in the pros, especially, I mean, that's all that matters. He's in the pros. That's all that matters. He's in the pros. So, yeah, he has way more options. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Way more. So if people feel like Morel, if he feels like nobody's paying attention to him, yeah, you're probably right. Haven't given him a reason to pay attention to you. Even with Benavidez, like, it's taking him a while to get noticed. It's not like he just woke up and everybody knew who he was. He's been fighting the whole pandemic, man. I'm gonna keep saying that the whole time. When people was like, well, I don't want to fight in the empty arena because there's not gonna be enough money, and that's why a lot of these guys just now they starting to come up with the big fights, because they wasn't active during the pandemic. A lot of these guys only fought like once or twice in the last couple of years. They only fought once or twice in the last couple of years. They got like nice houses and cars and stuff like that, but after the big fight, it's kind of what they're gonna be sitting on. It's not gonna be too much cash flow coming in. But when you got a guy like Benavidez fighting 2 or 3 times a year, oh yeah, he's gonna be a made man, no matter what. I know people gonna wanna sit up here and try to devalue him, but no. David Morrell has to be ready. He has to be ready. He has to call out some of these guys. I mean, like I said, Christian and Billy, he's gonna be on crash course with you. And I don't know if he's better than you. I don't know what level he's on. I do know what level he's on, because he just fought a guy recently that Andre fought. I just don't know what level Morel is on, because the guys he's fought, people aren't familiar with. And you've only had a couple fights. We don't really know a full detail. 8 or 9 fights are not really enough to figure out what kind of guy or fighter someone is, especially personality-wise, skill-wise, and you haven't been tested to the point where we've seen everything that we would need to see. So I feel like right now, you would have to try to prove yourself with these younger guys, man, around your age. Or it's a lot of guys out here, man, especially at 168. You can find guys out here. I've seen a lot of guys at 168 fight over the last 3 or 4 years. And a lot of people don't really jump in the ring with some of them guys because they don't want to risk losing their O. But you're at a position where you got to build something up. You got to build a fan base up. You can't just say, hey, yeah, I'm ranked this and I fought this many times and I'm ready for this kind of fight. No, that's not gonna happen. That doesn't happen for anybody. So I don't know what he wants to happen as far as his promotion goes. But 8 or 9 fights, man, that's not gonna get you any fight, man. You got guys younger than him that got way more fights. So we gotta figure out what's gonna go on the next couple of months at that weight class, because it's a lot of guys that's basically setting themselves up for a championship, especially with Christian and Billy. I don't know Morel, familiar with him. If you're a professional boxer and you in the game and you got new guys moving up in your division, you should know who he is. So hopefully he takes care of everything he needs to and sets up a few fights next year. Because this year, fighting once, that's not gonna work. You're not gonna have anybody calling you out when you're almost seem like you're just inactive. Cause last time I checked, when most of these other boxers fight, like champions, they fight one time a year, people complain. So just because people don't have belts or they're not this at a weight class, you still need to be fighting multiple times a year. Especially when you got the top guys fighting twice a year. You got Canelo still fighting big fights twice a year. You got Tank fighting what, 2 or 3 times a year? So, nah, guys gotta figure it out, man. They gotta figure it out fast. And I like Morrell. Morrell's a very good fighter. Got a lot of skill. Cuban fighter. Nice amateur fighter, but man, we gotta figure out how we gonna figure out these divisions. Cause 154, 160, 168 is terrible right now. You only got a couple of guys trying to fight and everyone else trying to figure out when they can wait out the division so they can try to creep in and get some vacated belts. Nah, that's not gonna work. And I see Morel, he's finally like trying to call out Benavidez, but man, it's been time already. Y'all around the same age, dude. Make something work. If you really want to fight him, you could have made it work already. Now he's starting to get with Caleb Plant, and as soon as Caleb Plant fight gets signed, now I'm hearing Morel talk. Then as soon as Andrade fight gets signed, I'm hearing him talk again. When the fight wasn't signed, he wasn't saying nothing. As soon as it gets signed, he's like, yeah, I should be consigned for Andrade then. Bro, they would have been put you in the ring with Andrade, and it would have been a big mistake. You're not ready for that type of fight right now. I don't feel like you are. I mean, if you want to get in the ring and prove it, I mean, I'm not going to be able to stop you, but I don't feel like you're going to, I don't feel like David Morrell going to sit up here and call somebody out who'll just beat whoever wins between Andrade and Benavidez. If they have no options, they say you can't fight Canelo. We have no options. I know Billy and Morel are young, so there'll be some young fights, but them in the ring with either Andrade or Benavidez, and then I see Morel in the mix. Nah, I don't know if that's gonna happen, man. Cause Morel, he got some options out there. He got some guys you can make a fight with. Look, man, we got other guys out here making tough fights at 26, 27, 25. Got Devin Haney, all these guys out here fighting hard fights. I think Tank was what, 26 when he fought Leo Santa Cruz? I don't know, he might have been younger than that, but a lot of these guys, man, they already taking hard fights. Especially at PBC, man. If you're not really doing anything at those higher divisions, that's a problem. Especially when you just showed up. I know you got time to grow, but man, when you got these guys around your same age, it's gonna be hard to kind of walk around without fighting Benavidez. Especially after he called him out. I'm expecting Morel to fight Benavidez. Because of what he said. He has to. Because of what he said, it was just too out of the way. That's how I feel. I feel like with the stuff he said, he's gonna have to fight him. And Benavidez already said, I heard he been talking, and guess what? Let him talk. I want to build up the fight. See, Benavidez ain't gonna be like Canelo then, where he was like, oh, he's a horrible fighter, you need to figure it out. He only got 8 or 9 fights. Nah, he said, I want to fight him. Let him keep talking, build it up. We're gonna fight very soon. Let him build it up. That's exactly what I want to see. I want to see him build up the fight. Because I feel like that'll be a good fight on down the line. Probably I'll say 2 years. 2 years realistically. Because right now, Morel ain't got that many fights. So I say about 2 or 3 years. 2 or 3 years. I say in 2 or 3 years, all those like younger fights that we like younger guys, I think they'll start fighting each other in like 2 or 3 years, 24 months, 36 months. I don't feel like it's gonna be around this time because a lot of that stuff still gotta get built up. A lot of people don't know Morrell, so him jumping in the ring with Benavidez, that wouldn't really hold too much weight. But now that we have a storyline to go off of, it can definitely help build fights. And if he fights guys that's similar styles or records or backgrounds, that'll definitely help out the division. Because the division needs a little push right now at 168. They don't really got too much going on right now. I thought the division was a lot better than what it was, but now that I look at it, it's not really many options there. It's not really at all. Not really building no one up right now. But the guys that Canelo has faced at 168, I mean, they're not really in competition right now at 168. I think Charlo will go back to 154. Or he's gonna take a long break. But everyone else not an option, especially with Morrell's up and coming fights. He doesn't really have anybody listed as an option right now. I would like for him to try to go through the rankings and try to figure out some guys who can match up with him well, but right now he's kind of stuck in a position where he has to play wait and see, I guess. But I mean that happens sometimes in certain divisions, but if that usually happens, that means he's gonna have some kind of bigger fights coming up, some step up fights. Well, he's gonna be able to prove himself and figure out where he's ranked in the division, where he's gonna land, and what section of bodies he's gonna come up through. But I don't think nobody's supposed to call you out when you got 8 or 9 fights though. Especially when you ain't making no noise. You gotta be making some noise, man. Like even with Berlanga and Teofimo Lopez a couple of years ago, when they was coming up through the rankings, they was making some noise. And Morel's making noise too, but I mean Morel's making noise too, man. I'm not gonna say it like that, but I'm just saying, man. Benavidez, look at the level of competition Benavidez is fighting right now. And look what he's doing to the competition. He's breaking it down. And this is after Caleb Plant just came off a knockout. He's breaking the competition down. So, with that being said, man, I feel like Morrell's gonna come I feel like he's gonna come up big later on, but I feel like right now isn't the time where he's gonna have the kind of fights that he's been dreaming about. Because he's still young, man, and he's not as active as he needs to be. I wouldn't want him to get in the ring with a big-time fighter right now, and he hasn't done much. I wouldn't want that to happen. I don't know about everybody else. They'll probably be okay with it. But I wouldn't want that in a young fighter. Because once he breaks down and his psyche not good, then what's going to happen after that? I don't want them doing like how Joey Spencer was in an all-out brawl. And I think Joey Spencer might be either younger than Morrell, around the same age. And he had to go in an all-out fight. Man, I'm trying to see Morrell or something like that. Like a Jesus Ramos. At that skill level, at that weight class, at 168. And then I'll see everything I need to see. But right now, I'm kind of like, I don't know. Things kind of tricky right now. It's not the same as it used to be. The weight classes are different. People are retiring. They're going up. Changes. So after a while, I'll figure it out. But right now, I don't feel like it's going to be much going on. But we'll see very soon. But that's all I got right now. Like and subscribe.